RAF to victory in the Battle of Britain and gained a reputation for their exceptional courage and devotion to duty. Tonight, a new film about the Polish Air Force during World War II is getting its premiere in London.
Yes, it's starring Game of Thrones actor Ewan Rion and Milo Gibson, who's Mel Gibson's son. It's called Hurricane, and it's named after the planes that they flew, telling the story of a group among the many thousands of Polish airmen who made their ways to these shores from 1939 onwards, determined to continue their fight against Nazi Germany. Sarah Smith reports.
CO3, a bunch of fools. I'm flying with whoever will have them.
For some reason, the RAF have deemed you fit for purpose.
Just get us up there and we'll finish the job.
It's the story of the pilots without whom the Battle of Britain may never have been won.
We have him, Red Leader.
Defeated at home by the sheer might of the Luftwaffe, they fought on with the French. Then, in December 1939, the first Polish airmen arrived at Eastchurch in Kent, not to seek refuge, but to join Britain's fight.
Training fights are just that.
Milo Gibson plays the Canadian flight lieutenant, under whose command they are placed.
And from now on, no more individual heroics.
As time goes on, he learns to respect these guys and that they're amazing, fighter pilots and that they know what they're doing, no one's given them the chance or, even able to go up there and fly. And I think he sees a lot in them. And I think it's amazing. And he ends up respecting them.
The film is about Squadron 303. Held back at first by an RAF command doubtful of their abilities, they would prove themselves the best of the best and win the respect of those they worked alongside.
They were the most courageous, most amazing men to ever fly, I think. They did a lot. I mean, what happened to them in the beginning of World War II was horrible, right? And so they had nowhere else to go. So the RAF was like, come on, come with us. And they weren't treated right, and they weren't treated fairly. And they worked so hard and did everything they could and proved themselves to a lot of people, but in the end, it didn't matter.
Lenny was with training flight escort. We had members of their families come and visit while we were filming.
We did.
And they were so sort of happy and proud the story was being told, which was great. It was really actually an honour to meet them.
By the end of the war, tens of thousands of Polish airmen and women had served with the RAF. There was no victory for them, though. Under the thumb of the Soviets, it would be decades before their home was free.
Well, Sarah Smith joins us live from the red carpet in Leicester Square. And Sarah, the Polish airmen really did play a major role in winning the Battle of Britain.
They did. 145 Polish pilots flew during the Battle of Britain. They took down more than 200 enemy aircraft, although 29 of them lost their lives. Now, one of the actors playing one of those Polish pilots is Ewan Rion. You might recognise him from The Misfits or some little-known television programme called Game of Thrones. Well, I asked him what he thought about the achievements.
I knew very little about it before I read the script and then did sort of my research. Yeah, we should be very grateful, and I think, well, possibly without them, the future would not be the same.
Tell me about the Polish. Did you already speak Polish? Did you just learn the lines, do you?
Yeah, well, I had to it was a bit of a crash course, so I just had to learn the alphabet and the sounds and the diphthongs, and then I had a teacher who sort of recorded all the lines for me. So I just had to learn it like that, really, which was very, very difficult.
So many Polish personnel served during the Second World War alongside the British, but when it came to the victory parade, because of pressure from Stalin, they weren't allowed to march. That was a wrong that was only righted 60 years later when they led the anniversary parade here in London.
Sarah, thank you very much. Always learn your diphthongs.
Always. Good advice. Let's see what Nina can advise us on the weather front over the next